Hello everyone, Lazy Titan here, coming to you with my first video for MLB The Show 26. In today's video, I want to go over which legends I would like to see added to the game. I have picked a new and returning legend for every MLB team, and have added chapters down below if you want to skip to your team. Please like and subscribe if you like this video, and hit the bell icon to be notified of my next video. In the comments section down below, let me know who you want added to the game. And with that said, let's jump right into the video. The first legend I would like to add is for the Arizona Diamondbacks, Curt Schilling, who is a three-time World Series winner, including co-World Series MVP during Arizona's 2001 title run. He also has over 3,100 career strikeouts to go along with a 4.4 strike-to-walk ratio. Schilling is a controversial figure, but since we already have Randy Johnson in the game, I think it's only fair that we add his World Series MVP cohort. Next up for the Atlanta Braves, I have Andruw Jones. He has an argument to be the greatest defensive center fielder of all time. He has 10 Gold Gloves to go alongside 434 home runs. And he was obviously a well-known player for the Braves from the late 90s through the mid-2000s. For the Baltimore Orioles, I selected Frank Robinson. He was not in Baltimore for a long period of time, but he did win the Triple Crown there in 1966, and he is also known as the first player ever to win both the AL and NL MVPs, along with 586 home runs, making him a clear choice for the Baltimore Orioles, I think, as a legend candidate. Next up, for my favorite team, the Boston Red Sox, I would really like to see Dustin Pedroia back in the game. Second baseman, won the 2008 AL MVP, one of the most clutch players in the playoffs we've seen, hit nearly 300 for his career, and he also has 4 Gold Gloves. I think this is a no-brainer, and he'd also be a great addition to the all-time Red Sox. Then for the Chicago Cubs, I decided to add Carlos Zambrano, a 3-time All-Star, switch-hitting pitcher, who is actually one of the best hitting pitchers of all time, has 3 Silver Sluggers, 3 All-Star appearances, and has a unique personality, and I think he would be a great add to the Chicago Cubs theme teams. For the Cubs' crosstown rival, I also decided to add a pitcher, that being Mark Buehrle. He has 14 seasons of more than 200 career innings pitched. He has a perfect game and a no-hitter, and was a major part of the Chicago White Sox 2005 World Series title. Next on the list are the Cincinnati Reds, and I went in a different direction than most people probably would go. I know a lot of people would like to see Pete Rose, but I just don't think SDS is going to let that happen. So I instead went with Brandon Phillips, who is a defensive wizard at second base, 4-time Gold Glove winner, got votes for MVP multiple times, 3-time All-Star, over 200 career home runs, is also a power speed bat. So that would make him an interesting player, I think, to play with in Diamond Dynasty. For the Cleveland Guardians, I chose Albert Bell, the first player ever to hit 50 home runs and 50 doubles in a season. He's a 4-time All-Star, 4-time Silver Slugger for the Guardians. I think it would be a great add as a big power bat for them. Flying on over to Colorado, I have Troy Tulowitzki. I think it's time the Rockies got their best shortstop outside of Trevor Story. He's a franchise and fan favorite player, multiple-time Gold Glover, Silver Slugger, All-Star. I think this is a no-brainer to SDS, and I don't know why he's not in the game yet. Next up, heading back to the AL Central, we have the Detroit Tigers with Lou Whitaker. Lou Whitaker played all 19 years of his career in Detroit, multiple-time All-Star, Gold Glover, and Silver Slugger. Is also one of the players with the highest WAR who is not in the Hall of Fame. His WAR is actually higher than that of Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, and he is not a Hall of Famer. So he is one of the most underrated players of all time, and I'd really just like to see him added to the game. Then for the Houston Astros, I'd like to see the return of Mike Scott. He was in the game a couple of years ago, but I really think as the 1986 Cy Young winner, he should be in the game, as his teammates Nolan Ryan and J.R. Richard are both in the game. Plus, along with the pitching rework that's supposedly coming in MLB 26, I'd like to think that maybe him as a splitter primary pitcher, that he could be much more useful than he was previously. Interestingly enough, for the Kansas City Royals, who are up next, I have not chosen a baseball player. Well, at least not a full-time baseball player. That being Bo Jackson. He only played 5 years for the Royals, but the cultural impact that Bo Jackson has, along with the elite speed and power, is just something I don't think can be ignored. I mean, I think this would be an awesome collection reward, and I think Bo Jackson would just be a great addition to the game itself, because I think it may bring a lot of players over from other games, such as Madden, to give it a chance just to see if they can get how good Bo Jackson is as a baseball player. Going back to full-time baseball players for the Los Angeles Angels, I've chosen Chuck Finley. He is their all-time leading ace. He has more than 2,600 strikeouts. Is a lefty with a devastating splitter. And overall, I think he would just be a great addition to the game. He's never been in the game before that I can find. And so I think he would be a great addition to the all-time Angels as they are in desperate need of pitching. Then for the current back-to-back World Series champion Dodgers, I decided to go with Sandy Koufax's teammate Don Drysdale. It's just a bit different. He's a multi-time All-Star, is a Cy Young winner, and I think he would just be a great addition to the game as he is one of the lesser-known pitchers for that era of the Dodgers, but is also a cornerstone of their franchise, playing over 10 seasons there. Next up, heading across country, we have the Miami Marlins, which at the time were the Florida Marlins, and that's for Hanley Ramirez, who was a shortstop, first baseman, and third baseman, won the 2009 NL batting title, multiple-time All-Star, Silver Slugger, fan favorite player for MLB in general, but especially with the Marlins. I think he would be a great addition to the game. Heading up north, we have the Milwaukee Brewers, who I decided to give Ben Sheets. I felt they were in need of a legend pitcher, and also Ben Sheets, fan favorite from the early 2000s for the Milwaukee Brewers, multiple-time All-Star. Injuries, unfortunately, derailed his career towards the end, but I think he would be a great addition to the game. Following the Brewers, we have the Minnesota Twins, who I've actually chosen Kent Hrbek, who, interestingly enough, is a player who was born in Minnesota, drafted by the Twins, and played all 14 years of his career with the Twins. So I think the connection here is pretty obvious. It's a longtime Twin. He was an All-Star. He was actually almost won MVP in 1984. But I think this is a great addition for the Twins team. First baseman, left-handed bat, good mix of power and defense. Overall, I think this is a win if they can get this guy into the game. From Minnesota, we head over to New York, starting with the Yankees. I try to stay away from really obvious legends that I think a lot of people want, and maybe go for some people more a little under the radar. But for the Yankees, I really just want Joe DiMaggio. I know it's probably never going to happen, but we have a bunch of the other all-time Yankees. Obviously, we have Babe Ruth. We have Mickey Mantle. I'd really like to get Joe DiMaggio in the game. I know that there's some issues there with his estate probably that prevent that, but I mean, he's one of the greatest players of all time. He would be a collection reward basically immediately as soon as he came into the game. What more is there really to say? Heading from the Bronx over to Queens, we have the New York Mets, who have given Dwight Gooden. He is the youngest Cy Young Award winner of all time. Big part of their 1986 World Series win over my Red Sox. So overall, I think he's a great addition. Plus, it breaks up the mediocrity kind of the whole, they just get Mike Piazza and Curtis Granderson rotated through over and over again, and it gives them a bit of a break from hitting positions. Heading across the country, we then have the Athletics. I'm not going to call them Oakland or Las Vegas as of yet, because it's still up in the air. But we have Miguel Tejada, a staple of those early 2000s Oakland A's teams. Won the MVP, All-Star, Silver Sluggers. What more do you want? I think he would be an amazing add to the all-time Athletics teams. Next up for the Philadelphia Phillies, I have someone who was in the game recently, but I really just want to see return, and that's Cole Hamels, dominant lefty, multiple-time All-Star, big part of those Phillies teams of the mid to early 2010s. And overall, I think the game is just better when he's in it. Next on the list, I have the Pittsburgh Pirates, but I've probably gone with somebody you would think would be the legend for another team, but that's Barry Bonds. I think the Pirates are in desperate need of a power-hitting legend more than the Giants. There's a lot more Giants, I think, that could be included than Pirates. Barry Bonds is still one of their all-time leading WAR leaders. He won his first MVP with the Pirates. Obviously, Barry Bonds, multiple-time MVP winner, a lot of Gold Gloves, a lot of Silver Sluggers, a lot of All-Stars. Obviously, he had some problems with steroids, but we've gotten Roger Clemens in the game now, so I think that's really kind of been cleared up. I think Bonds' issue with being in the game is more licensing of his likeness than anything else. But if they ever got that figured out, I think Barry Bonds would be the collection reward. And we would probably know, he'd probably be one of the first legends announced for the game. But overall, Barry Bonds, I'm actually picking him to be a Pittsburgh Pirate, not a Giant, but obviously SDS could pick and choose and make more of the same card every year. So that is my pick for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Next on the list, we have someone who faced Barry Bonds a few times, and that's Jake Peavy of the San Diego Padres. He's the greatest starting pitcher in Padres history, their only Cy Young winner, which he won in 2007. We had him a couple of years ago, but I'd really like to see him added back into the game. For the San Francisco Giants, rather than Barry Bonds, I've actually chosen Jeff Kent, who is the all-time home run leader in terms of second baseman. He's also the 2000 MVP and was a major part of the Giants for several years through the late 90s and early 2000s. Next, heading north from San Francisco, we go to the Seattle Mariners, who I think have an obvious legend choice. That's Ichiro Suzuki. He got inducted to the Hall of Fame last year, won MVP and Rookie of the Year in the same season, the only player to ever do that. Led the league in hits multiple times, has over 3,000 career hits in the MLB, even though he didn't join the Major League Baseball until he was 27. Has more than 4,000 professional hits worldwide if you include his games in Japan. Elite contact, speed, defense, arm strength. He's a 5-tool player. Add him to the game, SDS. Following Ichiro, we have someone who actually started playing the same season as him, but he was 6 years younger, and that's St. Louis Cardinals legend, Albert Pujols. He retired a couple of years ago, but this is an obvious guy we need back in the game. He's a modern-day legend for both the Cardinals and Angels. Multiple-time MVP, Silver Slugger All-Star. Is now a manager in Major League Baseball. He needs to be back in the game. Next on the list, we have Evan Longoria of the Tampa Bay Rays. He's their all-time WAR leader, and I think there's just no Tampa Bay Rays team that can't be complete without Evan Longoria on it. Heading from Tampa to Texas, we have Alex Rodriguez. I think you could make an argument for him to be the best Texas Ranger of all time. I know his span there was extremely short, but he won his first MVP, led the league in WAR multiple seasons, RBIs, home runs. I think Alex Rodriguez is the perfect Texas Ranger legend. Shortstop, third baseman. Also can have a card come out later in the year that played for the Yankees and Seattle. I think Alex Rodriguez is a great add to the game. Coming towards the end here, we have the Toronto Blue Jays and Dave Stieb. He was the highest overall player in the 1980s based on WAR for pitching. Was a big part of the late 80s and early 90s Blue Jays teams. A huge impact on franchise history. I think it's an obvious choice if you're for a Blue Jays legend is Dave Stieb. And finally, for our last team, we have the Washington Nationals. Steven Strasburg. He only retired 3 years ago, but he sacrificed his arm to win them a World Series, basically. And I think there's no Washington Nationals team that's complete without Steven Strasburg on it. And so that is a legend for every MLB team for MLB The Show 26. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Lazy Titan YouTube channel and hit that bell icon to be notified of my next video, and comment below on who you would like to see added to the game. This is Lazy Titan, and I'll see you again real soon.